learned today, yeah, that you need to take risk. You need to take risk. You need to overcome risk. The only way you can take risk is by, being a risk taker. So, guys, welcome to our event today. Yeah. So let me. Good. So, I want us to start and discuss something today, yeah, which is very important, and that is personal finance. Okay. So, you need to understand that there are four main ways people make money. Number one is as an employee. Number two is self-employment. Number three is as a business owner. And then number four, as an investor. Yeah, so these are the four major ways to generate income. And I like teaching this because I believe that in Africa and even here in Kenya, many people have not fully mastered this concept and they have not understood this concept. And that's why many people are stuck. Many people are struggling financially. Many people are really broke. Yeah. So number one, you're making money as an employee. And what do I mean? That as an employee, you earn money by working for someone else, and in return, you're receiving a salary. Yeah. And that has shown that you cannot really be financially free as an employee. You cannot achieve financial freedom as an employee. Yeah. That doesn't mean that having a job is bad. You can start with employment. That is completely fine. But you must always ask yourself, what else am I doing beyond my salary? What else am I doing to move me from just receiving salary to achieving financial freedom? Because that should be your end goal. Yeah. You could be working at Safaricom. You could be a teacher employed by TSC. You could be a banker at Equity Bank. So these are all good jobs. But if salary is the only source of income, then financial freedom becomes very difficult. Yeah. Now, quadrant number two is marked by the letter S, which means self-employed. So this is the second category, is what we are calling self-employed. And this is what I call a one-man or a one-woman business. So in this case, if you're not there, the business struggles. And we are talking about, maybe you are a saloon owner who must be there daily. You are a boda rider. You have to move out with your bicycle to carry someone. Maybe you are a freelance designer. You have to design that graphic for you to earn. Maybe you are a consultant, a public speaker. Maybe you're charging them 500,000, but without you, the income stops. Yeah. So there is nothing wrong with being self-employed. In fact, many great businesses in the world started this way. But the goal should be you move from being an employee, being self-employed, to being an investor. Yeah. Now, number three is business owners. So what's the difference between self-employment and a business owner? A business owner runs a structured system. The business can operate even when the owner is absent. For example, you start an hotel in Nairobi and later this hotel grows into a large chain. For example, Serena Hotel, you're talking of Kempinski. Yeah. So as the owner, you do not need to be present in your business every day because the system is running on your behalf. Yeah. Your business has system. But it is something that I've noted with African and Kenyan business. When the business grows and the owner steps back, you find people still attach every problem to the owner, to the business founder. Yeah. Now, only few businesses successfully move from being self-employed to being business owner. And you are talking of, in Africa, people like Aliko Dangote, you are talking of Strive Masiwa from Zimbabwe. So these are individuals who have built systems that are running beyond them. They're no longer involved in the day-to-day running of their business. Yeah. And you have to know that as a business owner, when you're trying to build systems, like for us, we are now at this stage of whereby, we want to move from this to this. Yeah. And the only way to move from self-employed to a business is through system. Now, the challenge is that when a business is transitioning from self-employed to structured business, problems will always begin to emerge, to arise. It's like a baby who is learning to walk. The baby will try to stand and fall. The baby will try again to stand and fall again. But eventually the baby will learn how to crawl and walk. Yeah. And sometimes as parents, we intentionally not look at the baby, avoid the baby even when the baby has fallen, so that the child will learn to stand up alone and walk. Yeah. And the same applies to businesses. When you start building systems, employees will make mistakes, processes will fail, some customers will complain. So you need to understand that this is normal. But what most entrepreneurs do is that they rush back to save the business personally. And what happens? Your business remains small. Yeah. So if you're currently trying to build systems for your business so that it can run without you, do not rush back every time there's a crisis. Instead, try to train your team, hire consultants, create systems, have mentors, set up mentors. Yeah, replace weak management if necessary, but not go back to doing everything by yourself. Now, the most important part of this quadrant is the fourth one, which is the investors. Yeah. And this is my favorite because an investor earns money from assets that generate income. For example, you're talking about real estate investments, you're talking about shares in companies, you're talking about private equity, you're talking about land investment. And even here in Kenya, many people are building wealth through land investment, through rental apartments, through shares at Nairobi Security Exchange. So this is powerful because the business or the asset works for you. Yeah. But the most important thing here is what I call the two types of income. That is, number one is active income, and number two is passive income. So these are the major types of income that you need to understand. So active income means that you must be physically involved to earn money. And you've talked about salary from your job, maybe commissions from sales, self-employment income, consulting fees, public speaking fees. And if you do not work, the money stops coming. Yeah. Even if you are a public speaker, you're charging 500,000 to speak at an event. But if you do not attend that event, you cannot earn money. Yeah. Okay. So here's the problem with active income. Active income follows something that we are calling the law of diminishing returns. Yeah, it simply means that as you grow older, this graph, this is your age 0, 70 years, your income is 0. At the peak here, your income is 200,000. So the law of diminishing returns says that as you grow older, your ability to earn active income reduces. Yeah. So if all of your income comes from active work, what happens at 70 years? Your income declines. You can see this graph. Yeah. Now, passive income is different, and passive income means that money continues coming even when you're not working. For example, maybe you have some rental properties, apartments that are giving you income. Maybe you bought some land somewhere in an estate. Now the estate has developed. The land has appreciated in value and the price has gone up. You decide to sell. Yeah. Maybe you have some dividend paying shares. Maybe you have businesses that are running without you. So passive income actually works in the opposite direction of active income. Because with the passive income, the older the investment, the bigger the returns, especially when compound interest is involved. But you'll be shocked that only 5% are enjoying passive income and 95% are stuck in the active income. Why? Number one, why don't most people pursue passive income? Number one is capital. Many investments require initial capital, yeah, that those who are in the active income don't have. Number two is time. Passive income is long term. Unfortunately, many people prefer short term. They want instant money, instant returns. They want to be paid this week. They want to be paid this month. That's why they're stuck at the active income level. Number three is liquidity. Some investments like real estate take time to sell. Now, number four, which is the most important, and this is why majority of people are stuck here, is what I call risk. People fear losing money. Yeah. And I always like to say this, that the biggest risk in your life is not taking risk. Yeah. And you'll have most of your friends discouraging you from investing, from taking risk by telling you that that investment is a scam. You lose your money, don't try that. And I always like to ask you who is not taking risk, who is avoiding risk and discouraging others. If you yourself, you have avoided risk all your life, how wealthy are you today? How rich are you today by avoiding risk all of your life? Yeah. Interestingly, I've come to realize that many poor people are very intelligent. Yeah. Many poor people are very intelligent. They analyze everything. They overthink every opportunity. Yeah. And I like to say this, that analysis leads to paralysis. But something interesting I've discovered with these people at this other side of the quadrant, that is the big business people and investors, is that these are the biggest bloody risk takers. Wealthy people often succeed because they take biggest risk. Yeah. So if there's a principle I want you to remember today, if there's a principle I don't want you to forget today, is this: that the biggest risk in your life will be not taking risk. Yeah. And your success is on the other side of your fear. Number two, you need to move beyond just your salary. You need to begin to find ways of earning more money beyond your salary and converting your salary, your income, into assets that will be giving you passive income. You need to begin to now think of investing in investments that will be multiplying your money without you physically being there. And that's where land investments come in. That's where real estate come in. Yeah. So I want to thank you for tuning in. I am Bob, a real estate investment advisor, coach, a trainer, and a mentor. If you want to multiply your money through land investments within the Southern Bypass Corridor, one of the fastest growing areas within Nairobi Metropolitan, then you can reach out to me on 0706 359 585. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.